Welcome to Remelations. We're your hosts.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke. Remelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams. From nightmares to the just plain bizarre, join us as we give our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle.
This week I'm sharing one of my dreams about air fryers, dangerous escalators, and my favorite, champagne.
Ooh, champs. And we're reading Catnaps, our favorite segment.
Love it. All right, besties. So let's get started.
Woo!
It's been so long since we've recorded because we did all those pre-done ones before you left.
Yeah, I know.
I missed you. I missed recording.
I was so excited for today. I was so excited. I was like, yay, we get to do it. It's been so long. I mean, I know we've done this right amount, but we haven't done it in so long.
Right, because we pre-recorded all the episodes while you were on vacation, but now you're back, and now we get to talk about your vacation, and the dreams have been pouring in, so I've just been sitting on these, so excited to share.
Oh my God, yes, I'm so happy about that.
But today is one of those fun episodes.
We love it when Mindy shares one of her dreams. It's my absolute favorite time of year.
Or week, or...
favorite time of... Well, I was going to say month, but that sounds unfortunate. Woo!
Okay, so I've been sitting on this dream of mine for a while because this was a while ago, but I think this was maybe November time frame.
What?
I know, but there's so many good ones. I
know. You have a plethora. You have a plethora of dreams, so it's not like it's timely. It's not like it's Thanksgiving.
Dreams are timeless.
No. Yeah, you're fine.
But it has a nice nod to shopping, so everyone loves shopping.
Mm-hmm. Retail therapy is the best therapy. And I've tried it all. I've tried it all, but retail's still my favorite. Reiki, regular therapy.
You have the hydrotherapy.
Retail therapy is still my absolute favorite.
I completely agree. Okay, so it starts. You're laughing already.
I know, because I know it's going to be good.
Okay. All right, here we go with my dream.
All right.
The dream starts and I'm shopping at a department store in the mall. I come across an air fryer priced at $79.
A steal. That's a steal.
I remember thinking it was a little expensive, but it was a good idea to get one.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good deal, and I'm sure you would use it a lot.
I'm sure I would. But it was an especially good deal considering all the extras it came with.
Oh, boy. I have a feeling these are going to be some unique extras.
How did you know?
I don't know.
It comes with spices.
Okay.
Jars of candy.
Oh.
And a bar cart.
Best air fryer ever.
As soon as I saw the bar cart, I was sold. So I'm like, yep, I'm getting this air fryer. So I'm on the top floor of this department store, but then I realized I have to go to the bottom level to pay. So I place the air fryer on top of the bar cart and wheel it over to the escalator.
Oh, no. What are you going to do now, though? It's an escalator.
Exactly. This is an IKEA where you get to put your little cart on the side, the cart escalator.
That'd
love
be
IKEA.
No problem. I love IKEA, too.
Nope. Instead, I thought it was a good idea to put the whole bar cart on the escalator with me.
Woo! Okay, here we go.
I get on the escalator with ease, but halfway down, the bar cart starts getting stuck, and I'm being pushed down.
Imagine that.
I'm trying not to fall because it seems everyone is watching me. Luckily, I compose myself right as I get to the bottom and walk off the escalator like nothing happened.
Good. Congrats.
So me. Do not bring attention. No, I don't want attention brought to me, please.
Giant bar cart on an escalator. No one's looking as you trip and fall.
Oh, completely good. Okay. So I get to the bottom of the escalator and there's a saleswoman. Saleswoman.
Rando. Here's the rando in the dream.
They always come up. She pours me a glass of champagne to celebrate my purchase.
That's so nice.
Which is strange because I actually technically haven't bought it yet. But I've never been the one to turn down champagne. So I'm like, sure, I'll take it.
That's great.
Please. I'll take a second glass.
Thank you.
So rando saleswoman starts telling me one piece of my package is missing from the box.
Oh,
it was one of the jars of candy.
Which is what you need with an air fryer. So this is a big deal.
But I said it's okay. And I'd still like to purchase the air fryer / bar cart combo because it seemed still like a really good deal for the price.
I agree. One missing jar of candy should not stop you from that deal.
And I think you're the same way as I am. We grew up in the Midwest, and when you get a good deal on something, don't you have to like just tell people what you got it for?
Yeah.
Is this a Midwest thing, or is this like tell us, besties, write in, let us know. If you get something at a good price and someone compliments you on it, do you say, "Oh, thanks, this dress I got it for $14 on clearance at Marshall's"? Do you say that?
Always.
Oh, I do.
Because I had this coat. It was this beautiful pink, like, winter coat, and people would compliment me, and I'm like, I've had it for 5 years, and it cost me $3. And
wow, it's like 20 cents a year.
I got it on eBay, and I'm like,
oh, nice.
And it was like a Calvin Klein coat or something, and I was like, So, I mean, people probably didn't even compliment me, and I just was like tapping them on the shoulder, like, hey.
Do you like my coat?
$3. Had it 5 years. It's less than $1 a year.
Right there. That holds its value more than a new car.
Oh my God. You got to get a coat on eBay.
Anyways, so talking of good deals, getting back to our story here. Even though that jar of candy was missing from the box, I said, it's still a good deal and I still want it.
Yeah.
She then informs me that with the bar cart, one of the bar rail, like the spill mats, when you go to a bar and there's like those spill mats. One of the spill mats it came with was in the dishwasher. And so,
so it's used?
Yes, I didn't seem too surprised by this. And so I told her I'd wait for it to be done washing.
Sure, that makes sense.
But it's at this point I realized this department store looks a lot like Pier 1, but I also notice there's a very busy restaurant in the store on this level.
Okay, so this is like a legit big town department store that has it all.
Yeah, for sure. So the backside of the bar is facing me, and I see the bartender is busy working. And I spot the open dishwasher, and I see my missing bar mat in there.
Did you go grab it?
Well, it looks like it's done washing. So realizing I'm in a bit of a hurry at this point, instead of waiting, I just want to grab it myself.
Sure.
So I waited for the right moment.
Who has time for a whole dishwashing cycle? No one.
Come on. No, just give me my damn purchase.
Just hand wash it, for Christ's sake.
I'm already missing the candy. I can't miss the bar mat. Then it doesn't become such a good deal.
That is not a good deal. Depends on what kind of candy it is, really. That's the key.
Point. I think if I remember, it was just like candy jars, like different kinds of candy. Like at a wedding, you know how they have candy buffets?
Oh, love it.
It was like jars of different kinds of candy.
Okay. Well, so missing one is just fine.
The missing one was fine. There was other ones. But I didn't want to leave without my bar mat. And
I don't blame you.
I decided to grab it myself. And I waited for the right moment when the rando sales lady wasn't looking and the bartender had his back turned. So I sneak over the dishwasher to take my missing bar mat, and I get up close. Why are you're cracking up?
I know, because I'm picturing it in my head, like you like tiptoeing and like looking like behind your shoulder, like is she looking?
Why was I so concerned about this?
Right, you purchased it. You purchased it. It's your property.
Technically, I have not purchased it yet.
Oh God, this is taking a long time to purchase.
But I did have champagne, so I was probably feeling a little more ballsy than normal.
You had some liquid courage.
I did.
You're cracking me up.
Okay, so I sneak over and I get up close and I notice there are like 5 different bar mats in the dishwasher.
Oh shit!
All different shapes and all different sizes. And so at this point, I'm not sure which one is mine. And I was afraid if I took the wrong one, the security alarm would go off when I left the store. So I decided to wait until someone brought it back to me. So I aborted a mission. I'm like, no, can't. Gotta wait.
You're like me. I get too nervous. Like my brother had me sneak into a movie once and I almost had a heart attack. Like I was so sure they were going to bust me. And he's like, just walk with confidence. And
so the question is, did you buy a ticket for one movie and then go into a second movie?
Yes.
Or did you completely sneak by?
No. We paid and we got snacks. So I feel like that's fair. But I had this red coat on. It was winter. And I was so sure that everyone would notice me in this red coat going from one side of the theater to the other. And he's going, just relax. And I'm like, we're going to go.
I can totally see you freaking out.
And this is, not so long ago, like
okay.
full-blown adults. I shouldn't have been, like, in my 30s, like, should not have been this nervous. And still, it's still
the real
haunts me.
question is what movies did you see?
Okay, so it was a Christmas day, and we saw, and this could be wrong, but this is what I think it was. The Fighter, the David O. Russell film with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg, and then Black Swan. Oh, hashtag, what does Christian Bale dream of? Please.
Well done. I'm sure they're definitely dreaming of you.
Oh,
naughtily
thank you so much. They have to be. They're like, who is this woman in my dream? She's a rando. She's a rando.
That's in a red coat that sneaks in to see my movie because she loves me so much. That's the one that I'm going to dream about and fantasize tonight. I'm sure.
You're right.
Nice job on that. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, so wait, what was the second movie?
Black Swan.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Which is deep and dark. And
I did not care for it, actually. Which, people were surprised because it's like critically acclaimed, but I just thought it was too much of a mess.
Brooke says no.
Brooke says no. And I know I'm probably in the minority with this one. The Fighter, awesome.
All right. Well, so we're both not good at breaking rules.
Nope.
We can tell. Anyways, so I decided to wait for someone to bring the bar mat to me. But then the rando sales lady begins talking to me again. She said, there's another cheaper version of the air fryer I might be interested in.
Oh, an even better deal?
So I followed her to take a look. This one was a black air fryer for $59.
Wait, what color was the other one?
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
So this one was $20 cheaper than the original one I had picked out.
Right.
But this cheaper version did not have all the bells and whistles and attachments and did not have the bar cart like the one I originally picked out.
Deal breaker.
Right? But it's at this point I realized I didn't take a look at the color of the one I had chosen. So I look. It was bright red.
Love it. You gotta go for the original.
I remember thinking in my dream it didn't match my kitchen. But then again, it was a much better deal than the cheaper one that she was trying to sell me. So I'm like, I can deal with the red. I'll take it.
I love a red kitchen appliance. I don't know why.
My kitchen's mostly blues and grays, so like to have a red, I just knew it wasn't gonna match. But hell, it came with a bar cart. So
the bar cart alone makes it worth the 20 extra bucks,
right? So I told her no thanks. I wanted to keep the original one I chose. But then she got really close to me and whispered,
"Oh God,
you made the right choice because the one you picked has the name of a very famous chef on it." And I look at it again, closer this time. And sure enough, there was a chef's name on there. Here's what I remember. It started with a D, and it was about 7 and 9 letters long, but I didn't recognize who it was.
Was that one name 9 letters long?
Like a last name, 7 to 9 letters long. Starts with a D.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. I nodded to her and pretended like I was impressed by it, but I didn't know who it was. The sales lady also informed me at this point the one I chose was the latest model, and she doesn't usually like to share all this information up front so honestly, but she was letting me know I made the right choice.
And she had to get very close to you and whisper it?
She had to whisper it. Like, it was like a secret.
That's a little uncomfortable for my air frying purchase taste.
Why does it have to be that difficult? I just want this. Just let me check out. It's been way too long now.
You've tried to purchase this 17 times now.
I've drank my champagne. I'm ready to move on and put it in my house.
You know the bar mat's done. You just didn't know which one it was. Like,
can someone just grab it?
Just take my goddamn money and let me go home.
Right. So at this point, I'm noticing I'm still holding my champagne glass. But I can't find anywhere to put this empty glass down.
Put it on the bar cart.
That would have been I wish I was that savvy in my dream. I spent the next 5 minutes just wandering the store looking for a place to put my champagne glass. I mean, I could have put it on the floor. I just was wandering around like every shelf is taken. It's full. Where am I going to put this? I should have just stole it. You know, my affinity for stealing barware.
I know. That would have been one more for the collection.
Okay. So in my dream, I'm starting to get annoyed. And I realize it's time I should pay and leave. But without being able to find a place to put my glass down, it was very difficult to do so.
I could only imagine the frustration.
So I finally get to the checkout counter. Finally. And I notice there's some sort of demonstration going on.
Oh, no.
Like an infomercial.
for this air fryer or something totally different?
No.
Oh.
This is completely different. There was a rando guy in his mid-20s showing he can do a standing back tuck while holding 75-pound disc weights.
Whoa, that is quite a demonstration.
One in each hand, and he did it successfly.
Holy
so he's just like
shit.
standing there, whee! Like it just
totally worth watching that. Even if it made more time onto your already very time-consuming purchase.
So everyone around him cheered, and then the guy says there was an alternate method to do this, which was harder. He put the weights together like a sandwich, one hand on top of the other, with the weights in between him.
What?
And he did another successful trick of a standing back tuck, holding these weights, which are now 75 plus 75, what's that, 150?
Yeah.
150 pounds of weights. Just like, can you explain to our besties out there how I'm holding my hands?
Mindy's got one hand on top of the other. So her elbows straight out to the sides, like her hands under her chin, one on top of the other. That's what the weights are.
That's how he was holding it. But it was so weird. That was so specific. There was two ways to do this. Anyways, he does it. He does it successfully.
Was he selling these weights or what was the demonstration?
Because you know what? Then I woke up. I didn't get my damn purchase done. I got sucked into an infomercial.
I'm so frustrated for you.
that was the dream.
God damn it. I thought it was going to be like I got home. It was great. Or
Nope.
something. No.
I
mean,
got sucked
it
into
took
an
you
infomercial.
75 minutes to even get to the register.
And I almost died on the escalator. It was one of those dreams that was just so frustrating.
Very challenging. I love it.
If any of our listeners have an idea what my dream might mean, please write in the show. If we think it's something close or something fun, we'll go ahead and share it on one of our episodes. So,
hey, do you have an air fryer in real life?
I don't have an air fryer, which I think is interesting. But Mark and I were just talking. We should get one. So,
yeah, Chad tried to convince me to get one because we were out to dinner and I said, I got to eat my fries first because they don't reheat. And he's like, if you had an air fryer, they would. And I'm like, I order French fries once in a very great while. And you want me to buy an entire air fryer?
It takes up counter space.
That I might get French fries somewhere in the future.
I mean, I get it. So our oven has an air fry setting, but it's not like the same. It's not.
That's pretty nifty.
It's nifty, but it's not the same, I don't think, as an air fryer.
I get it.
Mark was just talking this week, which is weird because this dream was from like November, that this was just something he was talking about this week, how we should get one.
Have you shared this dream with him?
No.
Oh my God, that is so totally real.
So it actually reminded me to bring up this dream and share it. So.
Can I tell you something what else is really weird?
Always.
Why I asked you the color? Mm-hmm. Because last year for Christmas, Chad and I gave his mom a red air fryer for Christmas.
Get out. Ooh,
I'm not even joking.
That's crazy.
I know. Oh my God. That's so I guess it would have been
random.
Like a month before we gave it to her when you had this dream. Wow.
Yeah. This was
That's
after
awesome.
I think right when we started the podcast around
it
there.
Was.
That I started.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Time flies.
Insane.
Well, thank you, Mindy, for sharing that dream. And of course, we love everyone's dreams, not just Mindy's. Although I have a strong preference towards Mindy's. Just kidding. I love all of the dreams and we love your support. So keep those dreams coming to us at remelations@gmail.com. And any other dreams, stories, or topics you might like us to talk about, we like to hear it all. Well, we know when Mindy shares a dream, we also have one of our favorite segments, catnaps.
I love catnaps. I love catnaps
wonderful.
Too.
Our first catnap comes from our good friend Dan from the UK.
Hey, Dan. Yay.
Hi, Dan. Welcome back. He's given us lots of good stuff in the past, so thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's short and sweet, but it's a classic. And I just love the fact that he answered our call to action because he said, you asked for more dreams from people that included food. And so I was like, thanks, Dan. Thanks for providing this. So again, like I said, short and sweet, but classic. One of my earliest childhood dreams I can remember was being on a quiz show where I'd get a pie in the face for each wrong answer. And that's it.
Yum.
That's it. I was like, maybe
hilarious.
I get some wrong for that. It sounds like a sitcom, but
I'll do it on purpose.
I'll do it on purpose.
Here's a funny story. So, side note, sidebar.
Of course.
So in Iowa, there is this amusement park called Adventureland. And Brooke's nodding. She knows what I'm talking about. And it's not a huge amusement park, but it's, an amusement park that's got roller coasters and carousels and Ferris wheels and like everything that a normal amusement park would have.
Yeah.
They also had a game show there. And so
They did?
They did. And so every summer, every other summer, my parents would take me and my younger sister, because this is probably when I was about 11, 12, and she was probably like 6 or 7, would take us to Adventureland. And so there was this game show, and they asked for 2 volunteers. And so we go up on stage.
You and your sister?
Yes, we are on stage at the Adventureland game show.
So clearly it's a family-friendly game show.
Yeah. But I remember distinctly what the game was.
What was it?
And it's disgusting if you think about it now, especially post-COVID. You had to lick a lifesaver and stick as many as you could to the other person's face. Gross.
You know what? I know that sounds gross, but I love it because I wonder what type of questions Dan was being asked, because I want to know, because of the pie in the face. Double Dare. Like,
yes.
I was obsessed with Double Dare. Always wanted to go on Double Dare.
Mark Summers.
Oh, Mark Summers.
So let's rewind it a bit for our younger listeners. What is Double Dare?
Double Dare was a game show on Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. And it was the best thing that ever happened. Double Dare was 2 families. There was always 4 people, and it was a quiz show. But if it went back and forth, like if one family didn't know the answer, the other one got a chance to steal. And if it went back, you got to do a physical challenge. And it was always the best thing. It was always like bringing a bucket of goo to another bucket of goo in a timely manner or whatever. But the best of all was the family that won got to do the obstacle course at the end. And
I do remember.
It was like you had to dig through a giant peanut butter and jelly sandwich to find the flag, or pick through a giant nose to find the flag.
Oh, God,
or
yes.
remember inside a
flags,
giant ear.
Yes.
But it was I always wanted to be on it. I always wanted to be on it. And I especially wanted to do the obstacle course at the end. But
so it's not quite picking a flag of a nose, but I did lick a bunch of lifesavers and put them to Kelly's face.
Did you win?
No, we did not.
Oh.
But I kept telling her, she's like 6 or 7 at the time. I keep telling her, like, lay your head to the side.
And then you could just pile it on one side.
That was the plan, but she was getting so excited.
God damn it,
I do
Kelly.
have pictures somewhere, and if I do, I'll post
I need to see these.
I'll post them online. Thanks, Dan, for writing in about your food dream.
We love, and thank you for responding to our, like I said, our call to action. Yes.
Okay.
What do you got, Mindy?
I've got one from Lauren. Lauren writes, I've been having dreams for a few months where I know I'm at my house, although it never looks like my house. Mm-hmm. And there's a fire. I never see the fire. I just know that there is one. Sometimes I'm trying to remove things from my house to avoid the fire. Other times I'm just standing outside of the house. I've never had this dream any other time in my life, but it's been so interesting, and I don't think it's a good omen.
Ooh. So she's only had it once?
She's just been having it for a few months recently.
Oh, recently.
So in the last few months, it's become reoccurring to her.
I don't know, especially since she feels like it's
like a
bad
omen.
I feel like you have to trust your gut. But I wouldn't. Ooh, that creeps me out. Like, that's a big deal.
Fire
fire.
dreams. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it can
warning.
be very cleansing. Like the rising of the phoenix from the ashes, but you also could like lose everything. So it's very. Lauren has to figure that one out on her own.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of both sides of it. Like, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know, but that's
be either one.
Tough.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing that with us, Lauren.
So I have another short and sweet one, and this is from Brett in Dubuque.
Hey, are we mentioning this is your brother? No.
Okay, it's my brother, but that's okay. I was dating Ronda Rousey. I don't know.
You have to give me some. Who's Ronda Rousey?
I was going to say, I'm going to have to explain this. She was one of the best female MMA fighters. Okay. But
now it sounds familiar. Sure.
Now she is a professional wrestler.
Okay.
So, and she's kind of taken on the Roddy Piper kind of look. I mean, again, that's a reference that people don't really need to know. But
some do, some don't.
Some do, some don't. So he was dating her.
Okay.
And we were all at a football party at my uncle's house watching TV on the couch. I was getting so mad because she wanted to cuddle and I didn't. I like Rhonda from MMA days and now wrestling, so I didn't know why this would have made me angry.
Oh,
And that's it.
He's like, ladies, give me some room.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe was it because either it was in the middle of a family party, so maybe it was a little weird, or maybe it's because she like
the timing wasn't right.
She's such a badass too. Like I could be wrong. You know, I don't know all the information, but I know when she was in MMA, she was like, at least for a great deal of time, undefeated. And not only that, like she would end a fight like in a minute. Like, so maybe he was afraid. So maybe he was afraid. Like,
maybe he's like, she's going to put me on sleeper hold if I don't.
He's like, maybe she's going to do like an arm bar, or maybe I'll do something wrong and then she'll kick my ass. I don't know, but who knows? Who knows with these dreams?
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Brett.
Always. So this next catnap comes from Jordan, and this is more like a dream story.
Okay.
So I unintentionally lucid dreamed last night, and it was honestly so scary.
That has to be really scary to have a lucid dream when you're not expecting it, and maybe she's never had one. That's intense.
First time. Yeah. She says, I'm 37 weeks pregnant.
Oh,
and
boy.
So she's almost there. Good job, mama. So my sleep schedule is garbage at this moment. And I rarely fallen into a deep enough sleep to dream at all. I watched a video yesterday about mirrors, portals, and inviting dark things into your world.
Oh, shit.
It was interesting. It didn't necessarily scare me because I have heard about it before. So in my dream, I'm in a waxing parlor. The waiting room. However, it was my grandmother's living room. I was with my husband, and I noticed there were many mirrors facing one another in this dream, which made me feel really uneasy.
Yeah, especially if it's waxing and, you know.
I mean, that's already uncomfortable.
You don't need to see everything from every angle.
Good point. I didn't even think of it from that direction, but that's good. I looked at my husband and said something along the lines of, I was just hearing something about mirrors, and that's when it hit me. I was just watching a video in my room at my house, and that was my last memory before falling asleep. My husband didn't really react, and the lady came in and got me. She took me down a long hall and said, your room is ready. In the room, there are more mirrors. I looked into one and saw a figure behind me. I told the lady, I think I'm supposed to be asleep. And then I started explaining the video and the mirrors. She looked shocked and her eyes got big, and she literally ran out of the room as if I figured something out. And I went to follow her and I woke up. Jordan says, that was the first for me, and I don't think I ever want to do that lucid dreaming again.
Oh my God, that is terrifying. Like you said, first time. And someone's like standing behind you in a mirror. Like, that's super creepy. Like
you found out you're dreaming, and then like
she could tell something was wrong, and the lady was like, she figured it out. Like, it was something dark happening.
Not good. Anyway, I think that was
Jordan. Thank you.
Jordan.
And, good luck, future mama. Well, you're a mama already, but coming soon to meet the world.
Yay. Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you have. Tell us what your baby is. So we've got another catnap from Shell. And this is interesting because it's a first dream memory. I think these are always interesting.
Oh, yes. Thank you for sending that in, because we talked about how like usually you're like younger, like first, second grade, 5 to 7. Yeah, it was one of our early episodes. So if you want to hear about first dream memories, go back. We'll put a link in the show notes so you can listen to that episode.
I dreamed of a small white character similar to the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh. Yum.
It sounds delicious. They were always running around my room and under my bed. I was mesmerized by them, but also felt some fear trying to equate the strangeness to reality. Wow, very, very aware at 7 or 8.
But I mean, we found that in a lot of first dreams. Like, they're usually terror dreams.
Yeah, and that, I mean, at first sounds good, but if you think of a bunch of little ones running around,
marshmallow men,
kind of scary. These characters eventually taught me to run fast, almost as if flying near the ground, but only in my dreams.
Not in real life. You couldn't really fly in real life.
But
in your dreams, wow.
I wonder if this became like a career or maybe a track and field star, like
Right?
to run
So fast.
And could you imagine the training? Like I see them on a track, like running, and they're all like pushing, and they're all around and encouraging, go, Shell, go,
Shell, go. Yes. And Shell always wins. Always comes in first place.
I think so. Gold medal for Shell. Thank you for sharing. Good. That was funny. It's good. I have so many visuals in my head right now. That was fun.
Okay. All right. I've got one left. This next dream comes from Jen from North Carolina.
Okay, Jen.
The title of this dream is Reoccurring Frustrating Travel Dreams.
Ooh, quite familiar with this topic.
So Jen says, I have this reoccurring dream pretty regularly, and the situation is always the same with a few details being different. The reoccurring dream in general. I travel to visit my mom and siblings. And then she says, in real life, we live in different states and I travel to them quite frequently.
Okay.
I stay at my mom's house, and when it's time for me to fly out, I have problems getting ready, packing, getting to the airport, navigating the airport, and I get no assistance from my family, and I never make my flight.
God damn it.
I've had this dream at least a dozen times and can remember several quite vividly. So, and then she goes on, about me for context. Prior to COVID-19, I traveled very frequently for work for 10 years.
Okay.
I'm a frequent flyer, often international. Travel does not stress me out IRL in real life.
Well,
I think that's what's most frustrating to me in these dreams. I think these dreams have stopped since COVID-19 hit and the travel has stopped. Now that travel is picking back up, I'm irritated they may come back.
I bet they will.
Things that vary in these dreams. So she's got 3 things that vary. So it's like all the same dream, but like 3 things will be different.
Okay.
Typically. Number 1, my mom's house is never the same. It's always a different house with different problems. For example, sometimes there's only one bathroom and I need to wait for my siblings to get out of the bathroom for me to get ready.
That is the worst feeling in the world.
Right?
Oh my God, no.
My room is never the same, so my luggage and my belongings are harder to find.
Oh.
One house actually like shape shifted, so the rooms moved about. So that's one thing that changes.
Wow. Okay.
The one thing that is consistent is that no one at my mom's house will help me find my belongings or do anything to help me.
That's not very nice.
It's rude.
It's very rude.
Okay. So the number 2 thing, my siblings' ages vary. In real life, they're all adults, but in these dreams, sometimes they're very young or teens. Sometimes the age gaps vary, but I'm always the same age in real life. I'm the oldest of the 4. Okay.
Huh.
Number 3, I'm never traveling out of the same airport. In real life, I've always flown out of the same airport when visiting family. So each time I get to the airport, something is different and creates challenges to me getting to my plane on time. Finding the airport, parking, finding the gate for baggage drop, leaving my luggage in a rental. Anything that can go wrong in these dreams does.
Oh my God.
Finally, she says, one additional detail I've realized as I'm writing this down while I'm staying at my mom's house is I do not recall my mom being in any of these dreams, although it's her house.
Weird.
I know. It's such a great dream story.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Thank you, Jen, for sending that in because these are the things I love. Like the whole behind the scenes, like give me your real life along with the dream that you're having. So that's
I love how it like kind of mirrors her real life, but still a dream.
Yes.
And that could just
frustrating.
Be so stressful. Yeah. Maybe as stressful as buying an air fryer. I don't know.
But like just not being able to like get to your, even though it's like something you do routinely in your real life, like she said up until like COVID-19 and all the travel restrictions, that is something that was like so routine for her. Yes, exactly. Like you just go to the airport and this is the same airport and this is what I go to do and that and everything's all planned. And then, but in her dreams, it's a way like stress is like filtering into that.
It's interesting because she's not stressed in real life. She's
Right.
stressed in the dream. It's like such a role reversal. Usually like your stress comes out in your dreams, but she seems just totally fine in real life, but the stress is in the dream.
So interesting.
And you never know what's going to happen when you
And
travel.
every airport's different.
Oh my God. And especially, she said internationally, because, can be a real nightmare.
It can. But so Brooke just got back from her trip to the Maldives, and I want to get into that. But before we do, if you're enjoying this podcast, we would love for you to support our show.
Please.
You can do that by going to remelations.com/support. You can follow us on your favorite podcast player. Actually, there's a little button there. If you look down at your phone right now, it says follow. Hit that. That helps us. Thank you.
Right now.
You can follow us on Instagram. But I really want to give a shout out to our Patreon members. So thank you to our newest Patreon supporter, Kelly from New South Wales. Thank you for joining our sleepover squad.
We love Australia.
And of course, thank you to Michelle, who is our OG supporter.
Number one.
She's number one. She was in our live chat a few weeks ago. So that was fun.
You want to see the live show? Gotta subscribe, be a Patreon member.
If you want more content, that's how you get it. If you just cannot get enough of these dreams, go ahead and go to remelations.com/support, join our Patreon, and you get extra dreams. So we're going to put another one up this week. So if you need a little bit extra, go join our Patreon. And you also can get Remelations Bestie OG t-shirt.
One of a kind.
If you're one of our first 25 Patreon members to join, you can get an original Besties t-shirt. We're only making 25 of them, and you will be amazingly cool.
Super, super duper cool.
But thank you again to Kelly, Michelle. Thank you for supporting our podcast.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Okay. Well, speaking of weird travel dreams, let's talk about your trip, because I know I'm dying to hear about it. And we met up this week to have lunch, but
that's its own story.
That's its own story. We'll have to say that one for next week.
Okay.
But we promised each other we would not talk about your trip until we got on the podcast. So
it was really hard seeing you in person, because we don't get to see each other in person live, and being like, oh, and we're like, no,
nope.
I can't tell you. Oh, no, can't.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
What is the thing that you loved most about your trip?
Oh, everything about the actual trip was magical. My favorite thing was our last day when we had a villa out over the water. And you guys, the water was so warm and so clear. And I had snorkeled most of the trip, and it was beautiful.
And you brought your own snorkel mask. You got a whole new set.
I did. It was pink.
It was on the live show.
It was on the live show. I mean, it was beautiful no matter where I went. But the last day and then our last morning, I've never experienced a snorkeling experience like that. There was just a coral reef, and it was right there, and you would swim over it and see amazing things. But then at the end, there was this drop off, 50 feet.
Oh,
and
wow.
You could see, if you can tell, when you look at different colors in the water, it's clear turquoise, and then it becomes this deep blue. That's where the drop off is.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
That's where all the fish were. And it was I would just swim back and forth, because it was surreal being okay, I could actually stand up here, and then it's 50 foot down.
Oh, wow.
And the things I saw was just spectacular. And it took me to the last day, but I did see my first 2 sharks live in the water.
Ooh. Oh God, I'd be running. What? No.
Okay, well,
how big were these sharks? Let's start with that.
No, just kidding.
Because I'm looking terrified. Right? I'm like,
no, okay, but I don't think they were babies, especially one of them. I know. I
would
thought
not get in that water. I'm sorry.
I thought I would be absolutely terrified if I ever saw a shark, but honestly, the first one I saw was a black tip reef shark, and I would say he was about 2 to 3 feet long, so not a huge, not a big boy.
Still could bite off a limb.
Oh, they can do some damage, but I actually followed him. I thought I would be running for the hills.
You were insane.
Or running for the villa. I guess there aren't hills. But I thought for
island.
sure I would be holy shit, I got to get back. to not being in the water. But I was so excited, and I didn't tell my friends because my one friend was like super terrified of sharks. Like,
hold up, how many Mai Tais did you have before you followed a
Zero.
shark? What?
Can you believe this was at about 6 a.m?
Wow.
And that also surprised me because we wanted to get up early because it was our last day. We wanted to have as much time. And I said, I don't want to swim this early because, you know, I know like dawn and dusk are very dangerous times to be in the water because that's when a lot of sharks feed.
Just like deer.
Just like
dawn
deer.
and dusk. They'll run out in front of your car and fuck it
very
up.
dangerous. Also very dangerous. But so I can't believe, like, I still have to look through my footage. I took a lot of underwater video and I can't wait to go through it. But I was so excited. And then, so I swam back out to like the ridge and I was going back and forth, back and forth. At this time, it was just me and one of my friends. And she was just like swimming. She wasn't snorkeling. And you can hear me like through my snorkel going, ooh, like the video. It's like, I was in heaven. And then all of a sudden, like you see my camera and it didn't catch it, but you see my camera like quickly scanning. And then I surface and I go, hey, there's something really big out there. I think we should swim back. And she's just like, okay. And like, I thought I'd be terrified and be like panicking, but it was just like a calm swim back.
Insane.
But this was a big boy. Okay. And if I had a guess, I would say it was a bull shark because in that area, like tiger sharks and bull sharks are very tropical, but tiger sharks can be super long, like up to 18 feet. This one had more girth to it, like around maybe 10 feet. But
Jesus.
Big boy. But the thing that was so spooky about it was that he was like, I call it the blue abyss, like where that drop off was, because it was like nothing but blue. And you would see fish come out of it, but you didn't know where they were coming from. And like to see this huge like shadow going by. But I wasn't scared. And bull sharks are one of the most dangerous sharks to be around.
I don't know how you did that.
Very dangerous. And so we swim back just because I thought that was the smart thing to do.
To go.
Then our friend woke up and was like, do you want to go back out? I'm like, yeah. And I thought in a million years, if I ever saw a shark, I would never go back in that water. But again, it was just so magical. Like
all those years of watching Shark Week finally paid off.
No, they did. And like, I wasn't scared. I was like, okay, this is a resort. This guy's probably been cruising this area for years and years, and this is just his territory. And I wasn't scared. And then, so we snorkeled a bit, and I came back, and then she and my other friend went back out later. I was kind of sitting on the deck of the villa, and she comes back, and she goes, Brooke, I saw something big out there. I'm like, I know. She's like, no, I saw something big out there. I'm like, I know. I saw it too.
What did you name him?
I didn't name him.
You should. What was I think of a name right now? What should we name?
Jolly. I don't know. I guess it made me so happy.
Jolly the shark. It makes it less scary if his name is Jolly. Maybe. Watch out, Jolly's coming to shore. Okay.
Oh, Jolly. Okay,
He's
can
here.
bite my
like
limbs off,
shark.
but no problem. But it was just so funny because she's like, "No, really." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I saw it too." She's like, "I didn't say anything to Joy when we were out there." I'm like, "Yeah, I said something to her like we should probably swim back." But so I felt, like, okay, I wasn't just imagining anything. Like he was legit out there. But again, so surprised that I wasn't scared, like not even a little bit. It was like the other experiences I was having were just so amazing that it didn't matter. I didn't feel unsafe. I just felt happy.
And I loved the pictures you sent me. We're going to pull a few so we can share them.
Still going through them, and I can't wait to go through the videos. So we'll definitely.
And you saw stingrays. You sent me some videos of stingrays.
I did. One was right on the shore. I couldn't believe it. I was just ecstatic. I was like, oh my God. And then I did see 2 other stingrays. And then also the last day where I saw the reef shark. Huge manta ray. Huge.
Wow, cool.
Coming out of, again, the blue abyss. I have no other way to describe it but the blue abyss. And I did see him on some video footage. So I know I got him for sure. But
and I know my favorite video you sent me was Brooke doing the shimmy at the bar.
While making
The shimmy
a
in the
drink.
Maldives. So we'll definitely put that one on.
Yeah, a shimmy while making a drink behind the bar because
Perfect.
of course I made friends, and of course I was like, and they gave me the shaker, and as you're shaking, the natural thing to do is you got to shake it and you got to shimmy. But there is a funny picture because my friend took a picture when I actually took a sip of the drink I made.
Oh, wasn't that good?
It was strong. Because of course I'm telling the guy, I'm like, no, let's not use this little jigger. Let's get the big jigger out. And he's like, okay, well, that's going to be strong. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And
that's what we're doing.
The picture's pretty good.
Good. Yes, please let me give that to me so we can put it up on social.
It was good.
So those were the highlights of your trip. Shall we talk about the lowlights of travel?
Yes, and this is the stressful part. So I feel you when you say you're stressed out in your travel dreams. Everything the trip there was easy peasy, just fine. So you're thinking,
got there, your luggage arrived, everything was great.
For once in my life, my luggage arrived. It was great.
I'm supposed to pick Brooke up from the airport, and so I'm checking her flight. I'm like checking social media because I see our friend Joy's. Or you might have commented like, hey, we're on the ferry. You had to take like a boat from the resort to the airport. So you guys made it on that. I'm like, cool. And so she should be on a flight from the Maldives to Abu Dhabi. And then from Abu Dhabi home. So we were supposed to get in on Friday at 4:20. So I'm like, great. I'm going to be at the airport. I'm ready for her. Right. But then I start getting these texts from you that are half texts. Like, so I'm not getting every single text. It was literally, okay, need new flight. What? Can't? It was like completely random. I was like, well, you need a new flight? Like, what's going on?
Let's just say the Wi-Fi wasn't great, in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Shocking.
Not so good.
And so
finally we switched to Facebook Messenger, which I think was a little better.
That seemed to work a little better, but it was still, even in the airport, like for 5 minutes I'd have Wi-Fi and then it would go out. So it was very inconsistent. So
all I knew at this point is Brooke was not on a flight on the way home. So what the hell happened?
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. We needed, not on the way here, you didn't need a COVID test. You didn't require it for Abu Dhabi or Male, but to come back to the U.S. you did. Okay. But it had to be within 24 hours of your return trip. And since we are like a day ahead, we're trying to be smart and thinking, well, we have a 12-hour layover in Abu Dhabi. We better do it there because then we'll be in the window of the 24 hours.
Makes sense.
So we go to check in and it's hot as a motherfucker and humid hot. Like you're just dripping sweat the whole time. The airport is just so stuffy and we're going through security line and then we're waiting in the line to check in. And they're like, you need your COVID test. And we're like, yeah, we're getting in Abu Dhabi. And they're like, no, you have to get it now. And we're like, no, we're getting in Abu Dhabi. There's not a requirement to get in Abu Dhabi. And then we have to have it in 24 hours.
From Abu Dhabi to the US.
Yeah. And there's a language barrier as is, but these particular women were nasty. I don't know what was up their butt, but
they were travel cunts.
They were travel cunts, and I hate that. Right? But she's like, since your final destination is the U.S., you have to have it before we can check you in. I'm like, we just need to get to Abu Dhabi. Like, let us on this flight.
Specifically state that properly in any sort of documentation.
Right. It was not clear at all because we needed it to get to the U.S., not to Abu Dhabi. It was just, but they were just
and it was
arguing
a 12-hour layover. It's not like your planes landed and refueled and then went to the U.S.
No.
You had 12 hours.
That's
and
why
then
we were
you flew.
doing it. Like, there was no way that was 24 hours if we got it at the airport.
Right.
But, that's what happened. And I said, well, do you have a testing site here at the airport? Yeah, we do. So we're again sprinting through this hot ass airport with all our luggage. All four of us get tested.
Is there no air conditioning in this airport?
There, I guess you can say in quotes, air conditioning.
Okay.
It did not feel like it. And in some parts there was not. It was like an open air airport, where you have to like take a shuttle from the plane to the terminal. And so we all got our tests and we're just standing at the counter waiting. And they're saying, well, we're running out of time. We're about to close check-in. And we're like, well, we're waiting for our results. He said he'd run them right here. And all of a sudden the sign goes, check-in closed. And we're like, and then like 3 minutes later, he comes up running with the test results, all negative. And he was so nice. He was trying so hard, but they wouldn't let us on the flight. And it was like, what the fuck are we going to do now? Like, we're not at the resort anymore. Like, we're just on the main island, which is not a pretty place.
Yeah, it is not nice. A lot of flights come in and out of there.
One flight a day on that airline. One flight a day. On that airline that we were.
Okay.
So we had to get a hotel on this main island, and getting there was terrifying. So long story short, the 3 other girls were flying into DC, but I was flying into Chicago, and somehow they needed proof from the airport that we weren't a no-show, that we actually were there to check in, and they wouldn't let us on the flight. And that was submitted, and they all got on the next flight, luckily, even though it was pretty much packed. But for some reason, they didn't apply it to my confirmation number, even though we were all there at the same time, all going through it. So it was all day, and we were probably at the airport, I don't know, for like 10 hours trying to get it figured out.
Yikes.
But my friend was the only one who had international phone service. So, of course, all of the pressure fell on her.
Yeah.
And this airport didn't have ticket counters. It was like you just checked in and you got on your flight. So we couldn't talk to anyone from the airline.
There's like no one there.
No, there's no one to help us. And so she's on the phone with them constantly. And every time it's a different representative, there's a huge language barrier and the calls keep dropping. God bless Joy. She was on the phone constantly. And the stress was really building up because they're on the flight. They're getting to Abu Dhabi, and I'm like, I can't stay here by myself. Like, it's not a technically female-friendly, environment to be by myself. Sure. And so it literally came down, I'm not even joking, to like the last possible minute where she gets off the phone and she's like, it went through. And I go to the window to check in, and like, I got on that last flight, and it was like literally running to get on the plane. And I was just like, I don't care. And I was in the middle seat, like 3 seats, an aisle, 3 seats, an aisle, 3 seats. Yeah. I was in the middle 3 in the middle. I'm like, I don't care.
No, you can't.
I'm getting to Abu Dhabi. And so it ended up, once I got to Abu Dhabi, the pressure was off, but it was like 2 days of the most stressful experience of my life. I held it together until the last day, and then I started bawling in the airport. It was so hot. I was so tired. I didn't know.
And I'm getting like every other text. So I'm like, here's the phone number to the U.S. consulate. Here's the number to the U.S. embassy. I'm like, what do you need? I can't help you. I just like, what do you want?
It was so sweet. And the reason, like, we just needed to get on this plane because we had already paid for this flight.
Yes.
So I was about literally 5 minutes away from just paying like $2,000 and getting on the next flight out of there. But honestly, our trip was such a good deal. It was like $690 round trip. So to pay $2,000 for just one way home,
not a good deal.
But I was so ready. But speaking of Mindy getting some random texts or messages from me, when I finally landed.
Oh, okay. Let me say this. So this was the weekend that was my sister's 50th birthday party. So Mark and I are out of town.
Right. So it was unfortunate time.
Very unfortunate. We don't go out of town that often. We're usually home. And so her flight's supposed to land Friday at 4:20. Instead, it's landing Saturday at 4:20, and we're gone. We're back actually in Brooke's hometown.
Yes. So random.
So odd. And so we had moved your car.
Yeah, my car was at Mindy's house. It was parked at Mindy's house.
So we had moved your car a couple times. We moved to the driveway, we moved to the street, depending on we try to keep it in the driveway if we could.
Yeah.
And so I go to move it back out to the street before we leave, and the motherfucker won't start. And I was like, oh shit. And like we're like 10 minutes because the party started at 3. We needed to leave by noon, and it's like 11:45. And I'm like, her car's not starting. And Mark's like, what? I'm like, her car's not starting. So I pop in neutral. We back it down the driveway. We push it in the street. And then I park my minivan in front of your car. And we sit there and try to jump your car. Because I'm like,
above and beyond. The
last thing poor Brooke needs after spending an extra day where she didn't need to stay.
Like, I'm like 48 hours without sleep at this point.
I'm like, I don't want this poor girl coming back to her car and it doesn't start and she can't get home. And as much as we tried, we could not get your car jumped. And I go, This is not the text you want to see when you land.
I was going to read it, but that's
Please,
exactly
okay, go for it. Go for it.
Let me find it. It's in Messenger. Okay.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad sending this.
No, it's pretty much what it was. In all caps, this is not the text you want to see when you land, but we cannot get your car to start. It was working earlier this week. I went to move it, blah, blah, blah. So you know the rest of it. It didn't start.
No.
So I finally arrive into Chicago after, again, two of the most stressful days of my life, thinking I was going to be randomly stuck in this country by myself. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God. And so
I'm like, here's my car keys. You have our house. Stay at our house for a day. Like, eat our food. Whatever you need for my house, please take it.
So hard. Like, you did everything you possibly could, and that's why I love you.
Thank you.
But
bad.
I got my luggage, and it arrived. So I was like, score. Okay, that's 1 point for Brooke, even though I'm negative 50 at this point. So I get a cab out to her house, and I'm talking to the cab driver, and I'm kind of explaining. He was so nice. And I was like, oh my God, my car won't start. He's like, well, I'll try to help you when we get there. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, I'll try. And
you had like jumper cables?
Yeah, well, I had jumper cables in my trunk.
Oh, okay.
But so I was like, you are really? Because I don't have like AAA or anything, which is probably stupid. So we pull up or first I land in a blizzard. Forgot to mention that it's April.
It's snowing again.
It's April and it's snowing. And I was like, that can't be snow. So he drops me off at Mindy's house, and she left a key for me. So I ran in to get my keys to my car, and he's already scraping the snow off my car for me. Like, so nice.
So we've got like Nest cams in our house, and all of a sudden I'm like watching
Did you see it all?
I saw it all. All of a sudden I'm like watching. I'm like, this sweet guy is like brushing her car off.
I know.
Snow. Like, there's no reason he can't do it. It was
so
very
sweet.
very
no,
sweet.
He did not. And it's like a cab driver in Chicago, going out to the suburbs. He was probably like, okay, well, it'll probably be a lot of big money, but like, I don't want to do this. And he was just so above and beyond. And he somehow jumped it. Just jumped it and started. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. So I just
Did you hug him?
I did.
You did?
I did. Of course, it's me. I did.
Of course, I knew. That's why I called it out.
I went in for a hug, and then I stopped and I said, can I hug you? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, gave him the biggest hug. And so that's all I thought. I was like, I just put the key back, and I didn't think of anything else. I'm like, it's starting. I just need to drive home.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he followed me all the way to the interstate to make sure I didn't stall. And he's like, you have a full tank of gas? I'm like, yeah, I filled up when I got here. Like, so
cute.
Sweet, like so above and beyond. So one extra stress, but then I thought I was going to die at that point. But then he started it, and I was like, that's true, genuine, good people in the world. Yeah. And it made me, it didn't make me forget, but it made me forget a little about the rest of the journey home, because that was just an amazing human being, and I can't thank him enough. So I made it home.
Thanks, random cab driver from O'Hare.
Thanks,
we appreciate
Rando.
You. Thanks, Rando. We love
thanks,
you.
Mindy, for doing your best, because you were on top of it. You were trying to get me to the embassy.
I was trying to get like embassy number. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like,
I had family members involved too. Like my cousin Hillary, used to work in Dubai, and she's like, if you can get to Abu Dhabi, I can work with the company and get you home from Abu Dhabi. Like everyone was trying. Like I had such support, and I can't thank everyone enough. But it was like, I made it home.
And you had a good experience, and you saw sharks.
I saw sharks. Oh, and one last thing. So our last night, we wanted to watch, of course, the sunset from the villa, but you had to be out in the water a little bit. So like, water is my happy place anyway. So I got to watch the most amazing sunset, being in the water, and I'm not even joking. Everyone laughed. There were dolphins jumping in the back, and I just started to cry.
Start the music now.
Just started to cry. I'm like, how is this real? How am I experiencing this? So like, even though the trip back was hellacious, like that, even that one night made up for anything I went through. It was just
and now
fabulous.
You always look back at it more fondly once you get back home.
Oh, you sure do. And the further out you get, the better you remember it. But like I said, the rest of the trip was so spectacular that I could live with that.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Yay.
I'm back. And I'm glad I got to share some of it with you. And I'll get pictures and videos up as soon as I can.
Well, thank you for sharing your vacation story, nightmare story, fun times nightmare story.
And thank you for doing as much as you could to try to help me.
If you love this podcast, please make sure to tell your bestie about it. Tell them that we're amazing. No, that's weird.
But it's true. Sorry.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to tell a bestie about the show. You can also tell a shark.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a rando sales lady at the department store. Or you can tell your favorite airline employee about this podcast. Or your favorite cab driver who Brooke really loves. Please let them know about this show. That's how we grow. That's how we keep doing episode after episode every week for you guys. So please take a moment to do that. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm hungry and it's lunchtime, so
I know, me too.
I'm going to take off. But I hope everyone has a wonderful and fabulous spring celebration, whether it's Easter or Passover, whatever you're celebrating this weekend. Enjoy it.
We can't wait to be back again next week with more dreams from our bestest people, our listeners. And we can't wait to read more. So until then,
Sweet dreams, bitches!